Martha and the Vandellas. Love is like a heat wave. Just on our way home from the Isle of Wight, Fesso, and seeing family, Pulp, Chemical Brothers, Blondie and Robbie, and so many more. It was brilliant. Well done to Sean, David, Jan and Bob. They're going to be shattered this week, aren't they? Oh, I'm glad the weather was good for you. Did you have a bit of rain yesterday? Oh, you don't care, do you, at a British festival? Coming up on the show, Charlie Stemp on the show after 8:35, talking about Crazy for You coming to the West End and an investigation. We need your help. Please, for help from our listeners over something I was sent over the weekend. More to follow.
This is Radio 2 on BBC Sounds
and on your smart speaker.
Play BBC Radio 2.
BBC News at 8 o'clock on Monday the 19th of June. Good morning, this is Tina Dahealy. The report, which found Boris Johnson repeatedly lied about Downing Street lockdown parties, will be debated by MPs in the Commons. The former Prime Minister David Cameron will give evidence today at the COVID-19 public inquiry. And the 75th anniversary of the arrival in the UK of the HMT Empire Windrush is being marked with a new 50p coin. MPs will this afternoon debate the Privileges Committee's report, which found that Boris Johnson repeatedly misled Parliament about Downing Street lockdown parties. The former Prime Minister resigned as an MP after being given details of its conclusions before they were published last week. Both Mr Johnson and his allies have bitterly attacked the committee. It's unclear whether today's debate will lead to a Commons vote. Our political editor Chris Mason says regardless, it will have implications for Rishi Sunak.
We've had a newspaper column on Saturday, Partygate video on Sunday, this Commons debate today. Or to take a step back, we've had the Privileges Committee report in June. We'll get those by-elections in July. So that long tail of the implications of Boris Johnson's actions is still very live from the Prime Minister's point of view, even if today it doesn't actually add up to much.
Labour says it will end the era of North Sea oil and gas exploration and help communities across the UK profit from clean power projects if it wins the next election. The party leader Sir Keir Starmer is to set out his energy policy in a speech in Edinburgh later this morning. The former Prime Minister David Cameron will give evidence today at the COVID-19 public inquiry. The first stage of the inquiry, which began last week, is scrutinising preparations for a pandemic before 2020, when the virus struck, whether the UK was ready, and government decision-making in response to the outbreak. Here's our health editor Hugh Pym.
Today's first witness, David Cameron, is set to be questioned on what happens during his term of office from 2010 to 2016. Tomorrow, George Osborne, Chancellor over the same period, will give evidence. Last Friday, health experts told the inquiry that the UK entered the pandemic with public services depleted and the health of the poorest people in a state of decline. Jeremy Hunt, who was the Health Secretary from 2012 to 2018 and is now Chancellor, will be questioned this week, as will Sir Chris Whitty, the government's Chief Medical Advisor, and Sir Patrick Vallance, the former Chief Scientific Advisor.
Scientists say a severe marine heatwave has developed off the coast of the UK and Ireland. Data analysed by the US National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration show sea temperatures in some places are 4 Celsius above the average for this time of year. Here's our climate editor, Justin Rolat.
Don't expect tropical temperatures if you decide to take a dip, but the seas around virtually the whole of the British Isles are significantly warmer than usual for the time of year. This marine heatwave